We have a treat for you today. We're here at the NASA Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex
with Louis Berrios and what appears to be an actual mission control center, but it's not. It's a restoration.
What we have here is a recreation with a lot of authenticity from the original Mission Control Center facility on Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. This particular Mission Control Center, the consoles and all of the hardware and strip printers, the tracking map that we see behind us, were all relocated from that facility and brought together here. We've done a very good job of creating as much of an authentic recreation as we can with the finishes, the flooring, the architectural elements, but the real heart and soul and the essence of the room are these consoles.
This control center was actually used during the Mercury program.
It was used for 6 flights during the Mercury program and 1 flight, the first flight, Gemini 3, that sent 2 astronauts into space. That flight was piloted by John Young and Gus Grissom. This was state-of-the-art back in 1961. This was the cutting edge of technology.
At cutting edge, that's important.
That's right. We like edge. Yeah.
You say it's authentic because, I mean, you can't, if you're putting together an exhibit like this, you can't go buy stuff like this. No. It actually existed specifically for the purposes of...
That's really important because part of the storytelling, our commitment to creating emotional connections about NASA's work and celebrating the human accomplishments comes from integrating authentic spaceflight hardware, consoles, spacecraft, tools, astronaut suits. When we can carefully choreograph their presentation into our storytelling, we create home runs.
Well, this is really cool because the public actually gets a chance to see what it looked like back during the
And it's neat because our guests are made up of, family experience, so it's kind of neat to see the reactions when a grandparent comes in with their grandchild and says, I remember seeing those on my black and white TV set back when you weren't even around.
Well, speaking of that, you were talking about authenticity. If you bring in some former folks that actually worked in mission control, I mean, did it pass the authenticity test?
Very much so, absolutely. It really opens up a memory for them, and in some cases gives back the goosebumps that they felt when they were right here at the moment. They were a big part of what's going on with our space exploration program.
Well, what's really cool is that that grandfather who brings in their grandchild and sees one of the original consoles, and then what's it going to be like, let's say, 20 years down the road in terms of what mission control might be like.
That's the beauty of that, is that look how far we've come, and yet look how far we'll go. We don't even know. We're just scratching the surface of the accomplishments and achievements that NASA is going to honor and celebrate in the years to come. And the fact that this Mission Control Center is here since 1998, we've been able to share it with over 10 million people.
Wow.
That's something we couldn't do very easily in its original location.
That's right.
Roger, loud and clear. Roger, coming in to hike you a little bit. That little contrail went by the window or something there. We're smoothing out some now, getting out of the vibration area. Roger, you feel max Q, flight path is. Roger, feels good through max Q and it's smoothing out real fine. Cabin pressure coming down by 7. Okay, flight very smooth now. Sky looking very dark outside.
Unbelievable room.
Oh, wow.
Don't you kind of hear voices?
Yeah, it's almost as if you can hear, history.
Yeah, it's like...
Look at this.
Indicating 16. Pico. Lots of grades fired. Okay. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around. Oh, that view is tremendous. And I can see the booster during turnaround just a couple of 100 yards behind me. It was beautiful. Roger. Roger. Understand go for at least 7 orbits. This is Friendship 7. Can see clear back a big cloud pattern way back across toward the Cape. Beautiful sight.
There's a tremendous amount of responsibilities that each of the gentlemen that manned the consoles in this room and the Consequent had a role, a very specific role. Their job was to manage the content, to track the data that was coming in for the spacecraft or the astronauts' bio rhythms, their pulse, their heart rate, their blood pressure, and that would help them make decisions.
Roger, your impact point is within 1 mile of the upland Sequoia. Roger. Okay, we're through the peak G now. 7, this is Cape. What's your general condition? You feeling pretty well? My condition is good, but that was a real fireball, boy. I had great chunks of that retro pack breaking off all the way through. Roger, altimeter off the tank indicating 80,000. Roger, radio loud and clear. Roger.
And along the map, what you have are these circles that follow the tracking stations along the orbital path.
Gotcha.
The red ones represent a circle where there may be a problem at that particular tracking station that they're working. Yellow ones mean that they're okay but have a couple of small things, and the green ones means they're go, so they can keep constant traction of how that spacecraft is making its path along the orbital.
I'm getting all kinds of contrails and stuff outside out here. Ship 7, going to drogue early. It's a... Rocky first, drogue came out. Drogue is out. Roger, drogue came out at 30,000 in about a 90-degree yaw. Chute is on green. Chute is out in reach condition at 10,800 feet and beautiful chute. Chute looks good. Rate of descent has gone to about 4.2 feet per second. The chute looks very good. Ship 7 standing by for impact. Ship 7 getting close, standing by. There we go. Ship 7 impact, rescue aids manual.
Earlier I was walking around, I flipped about every switch imaginable in here. It's not wired to anything, right?
No,
there's no jeopardy there, right?
No, what we've tried to do is create some of the animations and show that these buttons are, in fact, that they have lights behind them, but they're not right now wired or networked into anything that will cause a catastrophic event.
So what you're
That's
saying
good.
is, well, I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that if Blair doesn't touch any of these buttons, those rockets in the rocket garden aren't just taking off.
Unfortunately, no. We're not able to do
Okay.
any live demonstrations in that regard, but we are able to share that there's a lot of hardware in here, a lot of buttons to push, a lot of knobs and gauges to keep track of. So it's very serious work.
Well, Willie, I want to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity
Pleasure to talk to you
show
guys.
this old
Thank you.
Mission Control Center, and it's this
awesome.
beautifully restored Mission Control Center.
And maybe one day you can wire this up for me to launch my own lunar missions if possible.
You know what? When you're ready, you let me know, and we'll see what we can do.
You might lose on the authenticity at that point.
But it will be relevant.
Hey, you're watching NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA.
This is Mercury.